Season number 2 is officially here in Madden 23, and now that EA Sports has fixed some of the major issues with the field pass in this game, I think it's time I showcase the fastest way to level up in Season 2 of MUT 23. So Salsa family, hope you guys are all having a wonderful weekend so far, and without further ado, let's get started and talk about leveling up in this game. Now getting into this video, I'm operating under the assumption that all you guys have a solid basic understanding of the way field pass works, the way you guys get rewards in this game. If you're a little bit shaky on any of that information, I would definitely recommend you guys click the link in the description and check out my guide to field pass, because it's going to give you guys a nice baseline of information that you're kind of going to need before you can start with some of these techniques. So check out that video if you need to, but since you're still watching this video, I'm assuming you understand that already. You're a pro, you know what time it is, so let's get started with leveling up in this game. Now the first thing that really everyone's got to do to level up in Madden 23 are your daily objectives. As you guys will see, when you go to your field pass and you go to daily, this is 100% the best way to get XP in this game. Now, some people are probably watching this and they're like, Swift, this doesn't really get you that much XP. You get 1,000 XP for 200 offensive yards, 1,000 for purchasing a pack, and 1,000 for completing a set. But that is not all whatsoever. When you go to the stats section of your Season 2 Field Pass and you go to the daily tracker, as you guys will see, for completing the daily objectives for 5 days, that's not 5 days in a row, for 5 days really at any time, you're getting 20,000 XP. Then for doing it 5 more days, which is 10 days total, you get 25k XP. So that right there is a ton of experience points, and full transparency, this is the easiest way to get XP in Season 2. There's other techniques that I'll show you, but this right here is the #1 thing that everyone needs to do. It's such easy XP. And in case you guys are wondering, to get 200 offensive yards, go to a solo challenge and beat it. I'll show you how to purchase a pack and complete a set really quickly as well. Now for purchasing a pack, go to the featured tab, scroll on over to the right, you will see the daily gold player pack. For me, I've already opened it up today, so I can't show you guys it, but what I'll do instead is I will just open up the strategy item pack right here. This doesn't have to be a pack where you spend money on it. You can open up any pack in the game. We open up a strategy item pack, we get a green card, which is awesome. So we spent 4k on this pack and we get a card that quick sells for 6k. So we opened up the pack and we made some profit. Then in terms of your sets, go on over to the program, go on over to the core team item section, and you're going to do a playbook set right here. As you guys will see, the offensive playbook fantasy pack, you put in a 74 overall player and you get this done. So there you go. That's the first thing everyone's got to do when it comes to leveling up. Get your daily objectives done every day. Open up a pack like I showed you, do the set like I showed you, and get 200 yards by playing solos. You can play a solo a couple times, play a couple different solos. It's easy to get yards. Okay, now once you guys have done that, here's where it gets a little bit more finicky, because from this point on, there's a couple different ways you guys can get XP. #1 is by getting stats completed. So as you can see, scoring 100 touchdowns in any mode, that's giving you 1,500 XP, which really isn't all that much. Scoring 250 touchdowns, getting some points, getting passing yards, rushing yards, team tackles, as you can see, all that will give you XP. But my philosophy and what I recommend you guys do is I don't really recommend you worry too much about these stats. I don't want you going into a solo challenge and rushing for 100 yards, replaying the solo, rushing for 100 yards, because that's just not worth it. The XP you get for doing this is good. It's like 5,000 or 3,000, but it's not enough to the point that you should be grinding like crazy by doing a solo over and over again. So instead, what I'm going to recommend you do is I'm going to recommend you back out of the Season 2 Field Pass, get your daily done, and then back out of the Field Pass. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at these other field passes in game, because these will underratedly be a lot easier to do and give you a nice amount of XP as well. Because as you guys will see, if I take a look at my most feared field pass, for example, at level 4, that's 15,000 XP. That's a lot more XP than I would get for doing my rushing yards and grinding that. At level 7, that's another 20k XP. At level 13, even more XP, and so on and so forth. At level 16, which I'm about to hit, that's another 20k XP. So what I'm going to recommend you guys do to get XP quickly for Season 2 is we're going to focus on the other field passes in game, and we're going to try and get progress on the objectives in here. So my recommendation is come to the most feared field pass and try and get everything done. Get the sets done. It's really easy. You can just do like the 78 overall most feared set. You can get a house rules game done. You can do the strategy item stuff really easily. What I recommend you do is focus on these types of things instead of getting those stats done. Don't grind for your stats. Thing #2, once you've done your dailies, is getting progress on your most feared field pass or whatever other field passes in the game when you're watching this video. So for me, for example, if I'm looking to get XP, I'll hunt through these missions and be like, which one can I do pretty easily? And I see right here that I just need 4 more stars in most feared challenges for 750 XP. So there we go. I just completed that solo challenge, which of course gave us a full level of most feared XP, and then went ahead and gave us a ton more XP to get our season pass up. Our season pass is now at level 13, and before that clip, it was at level 12. So that's the value of going through and getting other objectives done in the most feared pass, or even the competitive pass, which I'll talk about in a second, because for grinding those other passes, it gives you so much XP on your regular season pass. And I briefly want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this video, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is a place where you guys can make higher or lower player picks on NFL games. And with a ton of games on tomorrow, there could be some opportunities for you watching this video to win big. Let's say, for example, you think Lamar Jackson is going to go higher or lower than his yardage projection. And once you guys have selected your picks, let's say, for example, you selected 4 picks you are feeling pretty confident in, you would 10x your money if all those picks were correct. If you put $5 on it, it would turn to 50. If you put $10 on it, it would turn to 100 if you got them right. And if you guys want to check out the app, I will leave it linked in the description. They've got a cool little deal on the channel where if you use code SWIFT, you're getting a deposit match up to $100. If you put in $20 on the app, they're going to match it because you use my code, and you're going to get $40 to make picks with. I've seen people do really well over the last couple weeks. Like on the screen, here are some of the wins you guys have had. I've had some wins as well on Sunday, so don't miss out. Football's tomorrow. I'll leave it linked in the description. And yeah, now I'm up to level 16, so what I would kind of do is I would go back through my objectives and I would be like, what's next? What's another easy thing I can complete? Maybe I'll go through and get 10 more stars in my most feared challenges, or 10 more stars in my dreams of dead. Or maybe I can go on over to my house rules and get some stuff done in here to get more XP, strategy items, monster makers, whatever it may be. I can look through, and whichever one is kind of close to being done, I'll just finish that off. For the cheapest Madden coins and 2K MT on the internet, check out my sponsor MMOEXP and use code SWIFT to checkout for 5% off. And the great thing about that is the cycle will just continue to repeat. If I'm close to finishing house rules and I get that done, then that means after I've done so, maybe I'll be close to getting one of these stats done and I can do one of these, which might then mean afterwards I'll be close to getting one of these solo challenges done. So it's really easy. Just go to your most feared pass and do whichever objective is closest to being completed. Then I'll give you guys the same advice with the competitive pass right here. I will say I was out of town, so I couldn't really grind the comp pass a ton, but as you can see, for getting literally just 10 more CP, I'm getting 25k season XP. It's not going to be that difficult to get CP. My CP wasn't tracking earlier. I think I have like 5 wins in MUT champs, but it didn't give it to me, which is kind of annoying. So what I would do if maybe I was done with grinding the most feared passes, I would hop in, play MUT champs, play head-to-head seasons. That'll give me progress on stats in here. That'll give me progress on stats in most feared, and it'll give me progress on stats in season 1. So yeah, that's kind of the blueprint. Number 1, you're going to want to get your daily objective done every single day. Number 2, you're going to want to come in and you're going to want to start to get progress on some of the most feared objectives that are close to being completed. So let's say, for example, it's solos, maybe it's house rules, maybe it's sets, whatever it may be, get those done. And then once you've done that, you're going to shift on over to the competitive pass and try and get some CP, because for getting these levels up in most feared and for getting the levels up in the competitive pass, you're getting so much XP generated back to season 2. And of course, while you're doing all of this, you're getting progress on stats. If you guys are watching this and you're like, damn, I want to make sure I'm getting my stats done, don't worry. While you're doing everything else I've talked about in this video, without even thinking about it, you're getting the stats done. But instead of just like mindlessly playing a solo over and over, we're getting progress on other field passes at the same time, which is giving us even more XP.